Episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com. Authentic Muay Thai lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of the Nok Muay. Go check it out. All right, we're here with Fabiano Aoki. He's here today in the Teep Studio. Also got our friend Josh Saliva who's in here. Fabiano, thanks for coming in today, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah. So, for those that don't know you, I kind of previewed a little bit like on our socials and stuff like that. But, was the first heavyweight world champion for WBC Muay Thai.
Yes.
Yeah. For first heavyweight world champion, WBC Muay Thai. Was that in Thailand?
That was in Thailand.
Impact Arena in Thailand. Yeah.
2012, yeah.
Wow. So, like, for me, I know that now you have Cyclone Muay Thai and your brother's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy in Surprise, Arizona. All right. And for me, like, I first met you, I think, was at one of Vin's shows when he had a fighter back in 2017 with Knockweight, right? He told me who you were and everything like that. And I've kind of learned more and more about you throughout the years since then, right? I've actually been trying to move to Arizona since then. Yeah, I was actually looking at places back then out here, yeah. So, like, when Vin brought me out, I'm like, hey, I'll go look around. I was talking to him and everything, too. So, getting back onto it. So now you're a promoter here in Arizona, right? For Muay Thai, you have Samurai Soul FC,
yeah,
right? And then you're also WBC Muay Thai ambassador, correct? And a Hall of Famer also, right? Yeah. So it's like, congrats on like all the success in that, man. So how long has your academy been around for? How did you guys get set up in Surprise?
So when I was fighting, and my brother was all the time, like, my brother came here in Arizona first. He was training here, and he was asking like, hey, why don't you come in here, let's open a gym here, like me and you. But I was still fighting, and I was like, man, but I gotta pick one first, so let me finish my career. And then I came to visit him like a couple times, and I just loved Arizona in the first place.
Where was that at in Arizona?
It was in Glendale.
In Glendale.
Yeah.
That's where you guys were at before.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and then I came to visit, and then I was looking around, and it's like, yeah, I think it'd be cool. Like, and then he waited after like 2 more years, I think. I was still fighting. And then I decided to retire, and then I moved here.
Okay.
Then we opened the gym in 2014.
Wow.
It was 10 years ago.
Wow. I'm just going to check this. All this stuff, make sure it's still going. It's still recording, all right.
2014, we opened the gym.
So 2014 rolled around, and that was in Glendale when you guys opened up the location. Okay. So when you started to do that, like, where were you living before that? Where were you visiting from?
So I was living in Japan.
Okay. This is what I wanted to hear. Yeah. Where in Japan were you living?
I was living in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we moved, like, with the family. With my mom, me and my brother, my mom, we moved to Japan when I think was 14 years old. And there I was looking at that time when I was I was trying to be in the martial arts, martial arts and doing something. And my mom put us to do a Kyokushin karate. Have you heard about Kyokushin?
Oh, yeah. Hardstyle karate, yeah, so, like real fighting.
Yeah, so and then we started to do Kyokushin karate there and doing the competition, and it's like getting like feeling good about the martial arts, and I was like, man, I think we can do this. And then I was starting to do it, but like right in the close of right besides of my dojo had a Muay Thai gym, and in the karate you have to be very quiet. You can't express anything.
Yes, you're very stoic.
Yes. Yeah. So and then we training here, and then in the other side, it was the loudest. Like everybody's yelling and hitting the bags, and it was all the time like you can look like, what is that?
Yeah, complete opposite of like the karate vibe. Yeah,
completely opposite. So like I'm gonna take a look at it. So I went there. It was a Muay Thai gym.
Yeah, what was the name of it? Do you remember?
Victory Gym, I believe. This one.
And where was that?
That was like in Saitama, as I was in the other state.
Saitama, yeah.
And yeah, so and then I that how was my first time I met
being introduced. How old were you?
I think I was already like 18, 19. 18, 19.
Okay.
Yeah, I started old. I started old.
I started Muay Thai when I was 18 too, but my parents wouldn't put me into martial arts. So like, you know this now here in the USA, you have to be able to have the parents sign the waiver and stuff like that. My parents wouldn't sign the waiver, man. So I turned 18. I was like, I'm in. Yeah. So I'm always like, it's always good to hear that, but it's also like a little because you grew up in Brazil, right?
Yeah.
So you're from Brazil. What part of Brazil are you from?
North of Brazil. It's called Pará.
Pará.
Yeah. Yes, it's very, very close by, like right besides the Amazon.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
So is there a lot of nature and stuff like that too? Yeah. Okay. So you started training when you were back in Pará? So
I would say no, because we're just more like playing. Like our parents just put us to do something, so we're not there.
Yeah, you were in there, but you weren't training. Yeah.
Yes. So that's why like I don't count as I was training. But when I moved in Japan, there I was starting to like actually like oh, I think I can do more of this.
Yeah.
And then in karate you have to pay to compete.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You have to pay
for all the competitions
and when I was introduced to the Muay Thai gym, it's like, here, if you get pro, you get paid to compete.
Yeah. You're like,
I was like, wait a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I can get paid to do this. I get a little something, right? So, when you were in Japan, 18, 19, getting introduced into Muay Thai, and you're doing Kyokushin, so how long did you do both side by side, or did you like something?
No. So as soon as I went there, and then I felt like, how can get paid to? So and then I went back to my sensei, and then I explained it to him, and he was a cool.
He understood, huh?
He understood, and he even says like, if you need you like to come in here and do something, like condition, because that part is more conditioning.
Yes.
But it's like, if you want to come back here and do conditioning, we'll help to help you.
That's nice.
But it's like, and then we just split in there. So I started to do Muay Thai in that gym. I think I did for only like 6 months in that gym, and I was very competitive, like, because in back then it didn't have that much amateur.
No,
like they have right now.
No, it was a lot just pro.
It's you fight, you want to compete as a pro.
Yeah.
Right. So and then I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm ready yet, so I want to train more, but I want to. And then I was training with all the pros in that gym.
Yeah. Back then. The one in Saitama. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was giving like a hard time to them, and then this coach put me to spar with the national champion that they haven't back then. And then I learned that my guard was not good. I broke my nose in the first one. He broke my nose
in first sparring.
And I went back home, and then I'm pretty sure the coach was like, "Oh, he's not gonna
come back." Yeah,
and then I came back next day with my nose like this. I was like, "No, I'm gonna learn. I would need to learn more." So
yeah, I don't want that to happen again. Yeah.
So then stuff happened that I moved back to Tokyo, and there back then I had a Gold's Gym. The Gold's Gym in Japan, they support a lot of martial arts.
Yeah.
They have not only weightlifting, but they have the martial art ear like session.
Training floor. You know, cool. Well,
Right, it's true.
we were talking with Bob. Is like the gym they had in Philly was like that. It was like fitness center, and then it had like some classes, like regular classes, and then it had like the martial
A
arts.
few different floors.
Yeah, I think in the Netherlands. So he was over in the Netherlands for a bit. They have a lot.
Yeah, they kickboxing.
Yeah, so it kind of is different that way, right?
Yeah,
But
and they have a lot of like, so they're big on kickboxing, so they're very open to it. And that's the good thing, you know. I mean, they're open to the fight.
the market understands it, and it's kind of the same like you were saying here, where the like Gold's Gym in Japan has martial arts because it's like Bushido, you know, that's like part of Japanese culture, I think.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And then when we moved there, we were looking around, and we saw Jiu-Jitsu, we saw karate, so a bunch of stuff in there, and then Muay Thai gym.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to try. Me and my brother went to try it out, and then my brother picked to try Jiu-Jitsu, and then I picked to try Muay Thai. That's how we met our coach. And then since then, my brother went to Jiu-Jitsu and I went to Muay Thai
Got it.
until now.
One became a grappler and the other one a striker.
Yeah. So, how long were you training before you had like your first fight in Muay Thai?
So I remember that my coach put us to. I was like in our team. It was not to fight, but I went in another gym. It was kind of like
a smoker.
smoker, but
like interclub. Yeah.
But it was like regular. We just went in another gym and then pick like a heavyweight guy and then put those two to spar each other.
Was it like sparring or like you at
It was
fighting?
more
You're fighting.
So
yeah.
it's like, and then my coach was like, "Hey, you better win because you from our gym."
Yeah. It's the first time here, man.
First time here, and then we went. So I like we did 3 times during like that year, like 3 times, and then I won all 3. And then my coach says like, "You go pro with 3 amateur fights." I was like,
Well, that's the way it was though, because that's like for me, I can relate with like MMA. That's how it was here. You do like 3 smokers. And it's like, hey, if you're doing good, like, man, hey, you can go get a pro contract and go fight on a couple of these shows, get paid $500, $1,200.
Yeah.
So, when you first went pro, I'm sure you remember that experience.
Very well. Very well. Oh man. So I went soon as my coach says like, "Yeah, you ready to go pro?" And I thought, it's like, okay.
Like if you say I'm ready and I get paid, sure.
Yeah. So I went there and the vets matched me up with the guy. I was like 95 kilos, 97 kilos about, and they put a guy with like 200 kilos. Like it's a big like Samoan guy. It's a huge guy. And then I was like, I was like, because back then it was a middleweight.
Yes.
And then you don't have like in between. It was middleweight and heavyweight.
Yeah.
So then I was right in the middle, and then my coach is like, do you either go down or go up?
And you chose to go up?
He chose.
Oh.
This is I'm telling you that this day is very different.
Oh, 100%.
Very, very different.
Yeah.
These days, the fighter says no.
And the coach...
The fighter is picky.
Yeah.
But back then, you just say yes and yes.
That's kind of like... No, it's like, same thing with you, like, with your Thai instructors. Like, if they say you're going to fight, you go, okay. Like, yeah, you don't ask. You don't, it's probably better to not ask questions.
No.
But, yeah, sure, we'll go.
Yeah.
But this also is different now, too, because in some places, they'll take people's money, right?
I think it's better, like, build the character, he has the story.
Yeah.
Like, the story, the character. But now everybody's like, they too much into comfort. They want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So you say yes to this, you know, you're like, okay, like I'm gonna do this fight.
So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do the fight when I came. I was like, we can even ask her like who it is.
Yeah, just like, okay, just tell me when. What do I need to be?
Go over there and get ready. So I saw the other guy like warming up. And I was like, damn, that guy is big. I was like, and then my coach is like, yeah, man. It's like, now it's gotta go hard as you can.
Yes.
Go hard as it. So I went there, and then I was like, just using. I was like, barely come back from the karate. So I was more. I used
More like punch it, more kick. Yeah.
and I was kicking. The guy was just following me, and then he rocked me with the hook. I was out.
Yeah.
My coach thought that was done because I was snoring.
Oh, you like
I
went
got
out?
knocked out. I got knocked out. I woke up in the back room,
Oh, fuck.
and like out of nothing, and my coach is like, "Oh, you came back." Oh, you came back. I was snoring, man. So that was my pro debut.
Keith probably sitting there where like, oh. Yeah, you remember. It's probably better if it was one and done than like multiple, yeah?
Oh yeah,
You know,
for sure.
it's like the light go out, it's okay, you know, it's only just one hit, not multiple.
But like leg kick. So
Very crazy, you know, like Japan was doing so many crazy freak show fights, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, so after that, I know you got back in the gym as soon as you were able to.
yeah. So after that, I realized that my weight is too light to be a heavyweight, and then I started to lift weight, like
Right.
at the Gold Gym.
Yeah.
I started to lift weight, and then I lift weight and training, and then I started to gain weight by being fat because I didn't know anything. Like now you have
Nutrition,
everything.
yeah, nutrition, sports science,
You have everything. First of all, you have everything in
your phone, your computer, yeah.
Back then it was like magazines,
Yeah,
and
magazine, book, or your friends.
friends,
And some of the stuff your friends told you is like, man, are they actually my friends?
yeah.
What would you eat? Like every
So like I go around. So I go around at the Gold's Gym and see those big guys. It's like, hey, what do you eat? It's like, hey, gotta eat a lot of meat. Gotta eat a lot of this. Gotta eat a lot of that, and a lot of carbs. So then I gotta follow because he's big, right?
Yeah.
And then I just eating, and lifting weights, and I getting fat. So I go back to training.
Yeah.
I gas out,
All the muscle and fat, be fat.
gas out, and it's not even muscle. It's
Yeah.
big, getting fat.
Do you have any pictures from back then like that?
I think.
Because I mean, before for the younger generation, we didn't have cell phone cameras, right? But I'm sure there was a camera. Or something.
Yeah, I think I do.
And you guys send that to me if you got it. I want to get that on the screen. If it,
I
if it
used
gets
to
that.
have those magazines, and I cut it and put it like in my gym.
Display, yeah.
And then every the students coming in, they point like, who is that? But not as a fat, but as a different
It
person.
looks like a different person.
Look at different
Who is this? Why is he on the wall, man?
I was like, oh, me, man.
So you went through and like you know, when you're in Japan, what years was this? Like when you were first started?
Yeah, so I remember that my first pro fight was in 2000.
2000.
Yeah, it was in 2000.
That was like right when K1 started blowing up too.
Yeah, so and then when I started to do, and then I started to like lifting weights and training, I was starting to figure it out, the stuff, and then I was watching K1. Like K1 started to
Show on TV.
show on TV. There was like, man, that's cool. Like I want to do that. I want to be there. So, and then my coach is like, you just gotta train.
Yeah.
Train a lot.
So did you end up did you go into K1 at all? Or?
Yes, I fought twice in K1. That is another book because my coach was crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah,
So
go do it. Yeah.
I came back. So I built weight, and I came back, and then my coach says I could just do 1 minute. Don't worry about it. Like, just focus in 1 minute.
Wow.
Knock the guy out in 1 minute. If it worked. If it doesn't work,
Then
you fine.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, so now I want to build my cardio. I want to build
Where you can recover
I
after.
can
1 minute.
recover,
Yeah.
but I can tell my coach back then. So I was like, yeah. So I was like, yeah, you got to fight in
Yeah.
like a month.
Was he a Japanese guy or your coach?
Japanese.
What was his name?
Ito. Takashi Ito. He used to live in Thailand back then, because in Japan I didn't have that much
Oh.
Muay Thai. So they a few of fighters, like these famous now, they all have like a big shows in Japan.
So was he the one of the ones that was like one of the original karate guys that was going over to Japan, or like for going over to Thailand? Sorry, for some of these fights. That name sounds very familiar.
I feel like I've heard her too, you know.
Yeah, so Takashi Ito, he's famous.
Yeah, like I've heard the name before because I look at the history of Muay Thai and kickboxing, and there's crossover there with the Japanese promoter and stuff like that, who had a real appreciation for Muay Thai, and he started doing the hey, let's get the karate fighters stuff out against Thailand and bring them over here and doing this like friendship matches.
Yeah,
I guess you could call them friendship matches, but it was like to see who's best, right?
yeah. So he's now he having a Rise. He goes Rise in Japan. And
Is that his?
Tenshin
Yeah.
used to train.
So he's part of that promotion.
Yeah, he's the owner there.
Yeah, I know exactly what that is. Yeah, it's very big.
Yeah,
Yeah, very big. Because they do a cross promotion with shoot boxing.
Yes,
Right?
yes, they do.
Yeah,
And I was the first fighter of that show,
a shoot boxing or a Rise.
the Rise.
Rise, you were.
First fighter to the Rise. I got the first belt of the Rise. When they started as a pro show, and they is like, oh, I think now it's time we make a belt. Let's make a belt, and then he put me to fight too for the belt, and then I was the first one to take the belt.
It's a big show now, man.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's talking about like pioneer stuff that you were doing, man. It's so like for me, this is all making sense now. Why what you've been doing here in Arizona, because of it's like you had this whole, you're at the beginning stages of it, and do you see that like as a promoter, kind of sidetrack on this a little bit? Do you see that same opportunity of things to grow here? Do you think?
I do.
You do, yeah. Because I know like you touched on a couple of things like karate, like you had to pay, right? But it's kind of becoming like that a little bit for Muay Thai too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but like
it's coming with time. It's growing other things, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and is the time has changed, Time
Oh, yeah,
has changed,
100%.
and now you have to have that to get experience, right? And I think now it's going, and also for the fighter safety,
There's more safety and regulations.
there's more safety and regulation.
which costs money.
It costs money
Yeah.
to the promoter, so I think that is fair,
Oh,
But back
100%.
then it was like nothing.
Yeah,
You didn't even check the gloves, the wraps.
yeah. They just, hey, you have your hands out. Okay,
Yeah, okay. We used to put a bunch of stuff in.
tape. Yeah, you wind it up and everything.
Yeah, so it's like because this is like a rock and so because back then we didn't have all this safety and regulations, and so we didn't have to. The promoters didn't have to spend money on it.
Yeah, they can just focus on fight purse and promoting the event. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like the same like in Thailand and stuff too. They can less regulation. Less. It's same in Mexico.
Yeah, so you don't need to get doctor, medicals, all the stuff to protect the fighters. Which is now makes total sense.
Yeah, like you look back, you're like, oh shit, how did not more people die?
and no blood work, like nothing.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah. There's talking about blood work and stuff too. Do you know, like, I think it was in Florida, they got rid of like the blood work requirements. Yeah, but or there was talk with a medical board of a couple of doctors saying that like the chances of transmission of like HIV hepatitis was very low from like spatter. Like the risk was very minimal. And like the fact is that it was like very microscopic chances. Like the fact that that's even still a chance though is like,
yeah,
like it's just,
it can ruin your life.
but yeah, better be safe than sorry. What it happened there was a boxing match. I can't remember I think it was in California. The commission missed the fact that he was HIV positive, and he fought, and he bled all over the referee, and they had to like call the referee and tell him like, hey, and he was like freaking out because he just had a weekend away with his wife, right? And it's like, oh, like, I have HIV, my wife have HIV. Like, what's going on? Yeah, but the thing is, it's everybody. It's like the fighters, the coaches, the officials, the announcer that's sitting there ringside, because you get splattered ringside. Yeah, it happens. So I'm with you on that. That's like some of the stuff that's been implemented is definitely for the better.
Exactly. Now the fighters have a long life.
Yes.
Right. Back then, all the fighters get retired like early.
Yeah, they'd peak for like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was it.
Done.
Yeah. So now you can fight like 8, 9, 12 years.
Yeah. Science is good now. This science is helping a lot.
And the nutrition, the physical, the recovery now is with the technology, makes everything better.
Yeah. So going back on so you're in Japan, how did as you continue to train, how many fights did you have before you got this knock on the door for WBC Muay Thai?
So my coach said that they have to like back then I had to have a certain titles to so that he can send
to submit you as a request,
so they can accept or not.
Yeah.
So, and I was getting older, I was just fighting and the back then you don't make any money, so you fight just for pride.
You got like $100 maybe. Yeah.
You fight just for like the gym. The gym is gonna make the big namer. Your name is get bigger as you fight for your gym and stuff. But yeah, so. And then my coach said that if you get the 3 national titles, I can be able to put you to do a world title. So then I was just wrestling and I was fighting like try to fight every month, but as I was doing so much because I didn't have a time, and I got so many injuries too.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, you're a big guy, man.
And
like that, you get hit hard.
Yeah, so training and so I have 5 surgeries in my both knees. I have surgery in my elbow. I broke my face.
Like your orbital?
Yeah,
orbital.
And so I have so many surgeries and now like the past year you saw me in California with the big
your neck surgery, right?
I was fixing my neck because so. Is if back then had the technology that we have now,
it wouldn't have happened.
Probably not happen because if you open your knees, you're not surgery. Like the surgery now, you can go back home in the same day.
Yeah, or they call it orthoscopic, where they go in, they put the tool inside.
Yeah, so they cut it up and then fix it, and then
so you back
down, and then they put the caps in,
and you have the big wound and stuff, right?
You stay there for like a month or so, and then take it out, and then you lose all the muscles. So you have to rebuild back the muscle, and then it takes like about a year or 2 years to come back.
Yeah,
and a very long time. So that was my ups and downs. I wanted to fight way more, but it's like my injury didn't let me, and then I was just getting. I was getting far away from my dreams. Every time I get those surgeries, I was like, man, I don't think I can do that. And that's how my brothers, it was a big part of my career because I getting down and my brother come back is like, hey, you can't stop right now. I was like,
need to focus. Yeah, peaks and valleys in martial arts. It's like. It's interesting you're talking about this. You're just talking about you're dealing with a back injury last week, right? So, and you're saying it's like, man, I feel bad. I'm like sitting there teaching class still, like having to sit down, take breaks. It's like, hey, but you're there, right? Some people, it's like, I'm sure even when you were injured, you were still showing up to the gym, right? And being there and like watching, learning, asking questions, watching fights and stuff, or talking with your teammates. And that's part of like the learning process too, right? Because that helped develop like your IQ. This is what I'm gonna do when I'm healthy and back, right? So, with those peaks and valleys, man, it makes those peaks that much sweeter, right? Yeah. Like when you get back and look in,
the mental gets stronger.
Definitely.
Well, it's like people in like their mid-30s, right? Like early mid-30s, like they realize like, oh, damn, I had all the ability, but my mental wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, I'm sure you see it with your guys that you have in camp and training with you. It's like, hey, you have all the abilities, but just the mind, right? But that takes time.
It takes time. Yeah. So that's how I when I train those guys, my guys, I train physically, but also train them mentally. I talk with them, and then I tell them, and I know because I was there, so I know
how it feels. Yeah, and what you're thinking and like the thoughts you're having.
Yeah, so that I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, when so you were going through and you got your national.
Yes, I got my 3 national titles and then my coach he says like, yeah, so you can fight for the world. There goes WPMF.
Yeah, I remember WPMF. That was big. That was big back then. That was a big deal
back then.
Yeah.
So then you gotta fight for the WPMF. And then I fought that. I was 5 rounds, and then I won for decision, and then I got my first world title. And then my coach started to go and ask for the WBC title, and then it was a few that my injuries didn't let me fight. So they had a one in Jamaica, I believe. They had a one world title there. They invited me to do in Jamaica, but then I got injured.
That was the one this WBC, or they did a WMC, yeah? I think it was because they like Nathan Corbett, Tyrone Fong.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense because they were those were names that you would be competing against back then too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So then I got an injury, so I had to step back again, and man, I was so I was right there, and then I came up with this. So the WPMF say that I have to get over the belt and fight for WBC. I was like, I'm fine with that. So and then I went to this show. It was in Impact Arena in 2012, and I got invited to there to fight with the current, back then it was the current champion.
What was his name?
Christian Bosch.
Yeah.
Argentina.
From Argentina.
Yeah.
So you got this call, like, were you training, or like were you injured or anything like that? Or?
No, so then it went very well. So I got a very good camp. I went there early in the Thailand with my trainer, my brother, my trainer. So I got
used to the climate, acclimated.
Yeah. So and then I fought it, and then second round knockout.
It was a knee, yeah?
It was a flying knee, yeah.
Yeah, flying knee. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near you throwing a flying knee.
But man, it was something. To see how my brother is very big on this. Like my first flying knee that I did in my career. So I did like 2 MMA fights too, without training MMA. I was just crazy.
That's what you used to do, though.
Yeah. I was just crazy. It's like, I'll do it. So I tried to do a flying knee, and the timing didn't match up. I think the guy came to grab my leg as I did the flying knee. So I landed, and then I broke my whole ligaments in my knee. That was my first surgery. Yeah. And then I went back to, so after all these years, never ever fly knee. And then when we went to Thailand, and then my brother's like, hey, let's practice fly knee.
You're like,
And I was like, oh. It's like, yeah, that's fine. So my brother was with me all the time training, drilling over and over and over and over and over. And during the fight, Christian gave him a uppercut that I felt that.
you went like out for a second, yeah.
And out for a second, I was stepping back. And then naturally, when I was stepping back to the corner, and he came to drop me with the cross, and then I just
That's when he threw it.
shoot. Yeah,
Because he was a big guy too.
big.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, no, I've definitely like going through. You posted like an old highlight video on the Instagram. It's dope, man. It's
Thank
like
you.
I'm glad that you have that stuff because a lot of people don't. Like I'm sure even when people were filming that, you're like, cool.
Oh yes, back then you don't have it that much. So I was even talk to friend of mine, my friends in there, and just like, hey, I found those footages here. So I found those footages, training and stuff. I was like, whoa, I never even thought about that.
Yeah, that's
We see like when you have a fight coming up, we see like some camera guys coming in and do some shows.
pictures, yeah, video, and that's what it was.
That's what it was. And even so now that's like the fighters now is very fortunate because they have everything.
Yeah, all the media's everywhere. Yeah,
Study their own mistakes.
Exactly.
yes. In like going into that, it was like there's like Black Belt magazine, all that stuff. These different fighting magazines that were around, and now it's like everybody has the ability to make their own magazine.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's the way I see it. So, obviously you have a really big like a good grasp on like marketing and like the importance of this stuff too. I've seen it with Samurai Soul, for your fight event. So, how did the idea of Samurai Soul FC come around? Like when you're like, hey, I'm gonna start promoting fights. Like, how did that conversation come up?
Yeah. So when I started to have this gym and training the guys was getting ready to compete and started to have but back then, like 10 years ago, it didn't have that much competition.
No, you'd be lucky you fight like maybe like 3 times a year, 4 times a year.
So we used to drive like all over to try to find a match for my guys, and then I was started just like, hey, why not making a show that kind of always thinking about my guys.
Yeah, how can I get them experience?
Experience. So why not make a show but I don't have a space, so that's why we was all these years until like 2 years ago, I think 2.5 years.
Then you got your new place in Surprise.
So yeah, so we was looking a place, so we found the place. There used to be a fitness gym, which is perfect.
Yeah, it has the restaurant very built out.
Yes.
It's big open high ceilings and everything.
Yeah.
Because you do your show there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done your show there a couple times. Yeah.
So then I felt it's like, yeah, so I wanna do something, to make a fighters have a future, and they can have a more experience. And so we came up, like me, my brother, Taylor, Frank, and then we came up with ideas. And my brother had this always had this like saying that he's like, if you want to be strong, you have to have a samurai soul. You're gonna fight it through life.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, oh, samurai soul. And then that's how we came up with the name. It was like, we're gonna.
Yeah, the way you do your, like he does the fight introductory, like so he has all the fighters come out and he introduces them, they walk into the ring, one end, like they reminded me of like stuff you see like in K1.
Yeah.
Like in the very Japanese style promotion. But it's really good because it puts a spotlight on like, hey, these are who these people are.
Yeah, so we wanna show who the fighters are.
Yeah.
Right?
And that gives them a chance to build their character.
Yes.
And so how many of these events have you done now?
We are going to the 11th June
Next one's 11th.
11th, yes.
So, and you had one at the Gila River
River
Casino. That one was a really nice venue.
Yeah.
Where's this next one at?
So the next one is gonna be in Glendale Civic Center.
Oh, that's a big
Yes.
big venue. Yeah. So, when it comes into your media and what you're working on with that, how many people are involved in your promotion from the leadership standpoint? Is you, is Taylor, is there anybody else?
Me and Taylor.
Yeah.
We're the main one, like doing everything.
Running around, yeah.
So I go over the matchmaking, and all the legal stuff, and then Taylor is going over the social media and organizing the event. So we split in two, and then Frank helps Taylor, and then my brother helps me. So it's kind of all four splitting, but it's a pretty good work.
Yeah, you guys are busy when you're doing these events, but the matchmaking is always really good too. There's you've had some great matches on your card, man. When it comes into for your vision for that though, now obviously as it started off as something just for your team, which it still is, right?
Yeah. So now I wanna build something first. I brought the WBC Muay Thai to Arizona as doing the show.
Yes.
And WBC Muay Thai was always my dream. Something that I was fighting for, and I wanna continue, staying wear the patch with being part of the WBC.
Green and gold. Yeah.
Green and gold, yes. And that's why we started with the Samurai Soul promotion itself. So now being a WBC Muay Thai Global Ambassador, I can bring it and then be part of the WBC family is the best thing,
It's a great network
to follow.
Yeah.
And is very great team.
Yes.
I have this on the side.
Yeah. So, and then now with your shows, because they start off as just amateur, and you've had professional fights, and you're going to be continuing that. Not this one that's coming up.
Yeah.
The ones after that, you're bringing them back, right?
Yes. We're gonna continue doing the professional fights. Arizona is being a long time, right? It's not doing a professional fight. We did one recently.
Yes, but the thing is, before that, the last time that anybody did one was Tiago. Was the Science Fight production.
Yeah,
that was in around 2013.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, 2014.
And since then, it was all the time, So the pros have to fly out of Arizona to compete.
Yeah, they were going to Thailand, going to California, going to New York, and stuff like that.
So I think I can bring the professional events here and make it bigger.
Yeah.
That's my dream.
Well, I mean, I know you're behind the scenes, without saying too much, I know that you are doing a lot of that work to make that happen too. Working with WBC with Patrick Rivera and guys really trying to fill that in, with Rich Dale's Riz in Hawaii. And I've seen all the promoters, you guys are all making a circuit.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a circuit that's being developed essentially amongst all the promoters.
And it's just getting bigger.
It's only been with this new formation, it's only been there for 2 years, I think, right?
Yes. Brand new.
Power. No. Oh, I overheated. Yeah. Let's see this. Too hot. Yeah, it's all good. Give it 1 second. I'm gonna pause this real quick. Let my camera do its thing. We're back on here, and we're back here. All right. So with the new formation WBC Muay Thai, with a new president here in the USA, right? And seeing the activity you guys have done just the past 2 years, obviously, your promotion, you kind of now it makes sense why you're doing what you're doing, right? So I was like, man, why is Fabiano putting all this time into it? Like, I know he was a champion, he was a global ambassador, but I'm like, what is the why behind it, right? It is giving a lot of opportunities to people, and that's just gonna keep doing what it's doing. I'll do this for you. Boom. Josh, you cut out. You good? Oh, yeah. There you go. So, yeah, he's got to pivot, bro. Yeah, pivot. So, make sure it's still recording. All right. So, with the new formation, stuff like that too, and the activity you're making, you know, the decisions you're making right now, you don't have to talk about them, but like, you know, if there's something that your team, like, that you executed on, let's say for the promotion, right? What are those, I guess you could say, strategies or tools that you're using for your team to have the most success for your promotion and for your gym? What are those strategies that you're using right now? Is it the Samurai Soul?
The Samurai Soul. Yeah. The Samurai Soul is a. So I'm super happy that everywhere I go, I have a huge like family. You know, it's a very, very family. In my gym, it's a family environment. It's like everybody's helping each other. So Samurai Soul the same way. So it's like everybody they're helping to build the Samurai Soul. Is everybody is a family. Is nobody's like interested in something. You know, it's like we're very open to each other, and this is what makes Samurai Soul, the gym, everything grows. It's like the family
vibe, because everybody wants to be a part of it, right?
Yes.
Do you think that, with that, has something to do with your upbringing, do you think?
I'm sorry?
Like, why do you think that you've created that atmosphere? Is it just kind of how you and your brother are, like how you were raised, or?
So we raised that way. We, raised to, I don't know how it's planned, but I think we're very lucky to everywhere we go, we have the atmosphere like of a, family
vibe, family atmosphere. So, for your academy, with your brother and stuff, what is your brother's name?
Ismael.
Yeah. Ismael Aoki. Yeah. So, for you guys, for your goals for your academy and stuff, like, you're in a big place, right? And have you guys been filling that up over the past 2 years? Is everything going good there, or is it kind of like, is it about where you thought it would be? Obviously, you came out of COVID too, right?
Yeah.
It's like that was a big damper.
It was a big hit, COVID
for everybody. How did you guys get through that?
You thought we couldn't make it.
Yeah, I didn't think we're gonna make it either. Oh, a lot of gyms and old gyms that have been around a long time they were gone. They were like, Nakwi, the camp he was from, Luke Prabat. They sold the land. They developed it into condos. Yeah, it's gone. It was the longest running Muay Thai camp in Thailand. Yeah, it's gone. Right. The trainers, of course, went over to different places. They're still around, but the camp, like the grounds, is gone. It's crazy. So, what did you guys do? Did you have like savings or what?
So we had a little bit of savings, and also it's like that, like the family is like, our students wants to train, and then we want to do something. Of course, we couldn't do anything because there was a lockdown. So we went to the park. We train at the park. So we try to make things going, by taking care of us, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we barely survived. Barely.
So, how many years had your academy been in business by that point?
We opened in 2014. So
okay.
10 years.
10 years. So you had some momentum behind you leading into that. Like, a lot of people at that time too, is just everybody had to get creative. You have kids?
I do have kids.
How old are they?
They're adults now. I have
Okay.
grandkids already.
What? You do?
Yeah,
Oh, are they local or where they live?
in Japan.
They're in Japan. Yeah.
With my best marriage,
Oh, okay.
and then we split. So now I have a daughter with my wife.
Nice. How's your daughter?
She's gonna turn 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're busy, man. Got the academy. You got the. Is your daughter come hang out with you guys? Like, does your wife come bring the daughter around?
Yeah.
They
So
keep it separate.
yeah. So it's like our work schedule is very
What's your wife do?
she's a nurse.
Nurse. Okay. Oh, you're very busy too.
Yeah. so then we want to figure it out somehow, like to bring her and then getting
Be around it.
around the gym and
It's a good environment to be in.
yes, because my nephews they did the same thing. They started coming to the gym when they were like 5 years old, 5, 6 years
Just
old,
grew up there.
and grew up in the gym, and then now both is like 2 monsters
Yeah.
in jiu-jitsu. They were all the way, like they winning bunch of medals, and
Man.
yeah.
Well, Samurai Soul, baby. Well, it's really cool to see. And I truly believe that, like, if there's an environment to raise a kid in, like a martial arts academy like yours, would be a good one for it, because it's like the quality, and it takes a village, right?
Oh yeah.
It takes a
Yeah.
village. So, kind of going into this and everything too, how can people find your academy? Like, somebody's in Arizona and they want to come train with you. How can they find you?
They can find in Surprise. I'm located in Surprise area. Very, very simple cross street is at 303 and Greenway. My gym is right there, so I think everybody that passes that cross street is gonna see a big sign.
Yeah.
Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu.
So, and you guys have a website too?
Yes, Cyclone -muaythai.com.
Cool. I'll make sure to put that down in the show notes and stuff like
Thank
that too, and they'll put it in the description here on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. And then how can people, like, if somebody wanted to just say hi to you, hey, I saw the show, you're on Instagram as well, right?
Yes.
Kind of a long name, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. What?
Fabiano Cyclone.
Yes, Fabio Cyclone. It's all the underscores, yeah.
Yes.
And did you have WBC in there too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fabiano Cyclone Aoki WBC.
Yeah, it's long. But again, I'll put that down in the show notes and stuff like that too, for everybody that's listening on there. And man, I just appreciate the hell of what you're doing for the sport. There's some people that came on our live here on TikTok. Like, man, I just appreciate, because a lot of people see it and they follow it. Right, it's one of the reasons why I'm here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like I told this to Vin, and I see the vision of Arizona. Since then I see the activity and what's going on with like the commission, with the promoters, with the tournaments. There's a lot of activity,
Yeah.
and it's easy for people to get to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think there's there's in New York, there's 3 Pillars promotion, another WBC Muay Thai promotion,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And like, again, I'm talking about this circuit that's kind of developing, right? So they're very active. You're active, and pick this promotion back up again too. And then with the U.S. Muay Thai Open tournaments and stuff, there's a lot of there's some other promoters that come in the mix too. And it's just more and more activity is good for the fighters.
Yes.
It's good for the fans.
Fighters, fans. Now they have a lot of things to follow, and
Yeah, it's great.
it's great.
Oh yeah, 100%. I believe it. When it comes into this stuff too, just to like touch on it, ask some questions for you.
Yes.
So, left or right kick for you? Which one do you prefer?
Right kick.
Right kick. Why is it power, or is it your back?
So
Don't hit me.
So I had a more surgeries in my right. So
You couldn't pivot as much.
We can pivot as much. So that's why I was very, very good to fight against the southpaw.
Because you had your right kick.
Yeah. So I had to adapt to I only can kick with my right, and then knees was my left. So
Perfect. It obviously worked out for you.
yeah,
And that's a beautiful thing to see.
is the beauty of a martial arts is we adapt for whatever,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
No limits. Yes.
Yeah. And just like you were showing up to teach your classes the other day, make it happen, right?
Just gotta make it happen. It's like you hurt in your hands. You have a lot of things to work on.
Yeah.
Right?
How many times do you get people to say, "Hey,
It's because
I can't train because I hurt my head." You're like, "Well, you have another hand and you have your two legs." Yeah. This is what's beautiful about what we do.
Exactly.
You have your whole body, man. Like you don't need that.
Don't need that. Oh, I'm hurting my both hands. Use a footwork. Use a kicks. Use a.
He met Ralph. We had one of the guys. He had his ACL was bad, and so after the surgery, I sat him up in front of the heavy bag and hold mitts for him. He stayed in the whole time, and it's like
I believe like striking makes the character building. Every martial art have different character building, but striking, you cannot tap, you cannot.
You have to do it. You gotta do it.
There's no easy, no shortcut. You have to be there. And that's why I like, someone's injured. Okay, you can work on this.
Yeah.
Easy.
I remember when I was having the surgery, I was getting crazy because it's just staying home. So I have my surgery in my leg. So I go in the gym, I sit down front of the bag, and I'm hitting the bag, sitting down.
Yeah.
And I yelling and doing whatever I can. Right? I gotta stay.
The withdrawals, like the fight withdrawal, even after the fight, you win or lose. But everyone gets they go here and then they have to do the next thing. You have to have something.
You know who Jim Rohn is? Have you heard of Jim Rohn? Motivational speaker.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
He had a saying someone shared with me. He's like, you don't get caught going down one mountain without already climbing the next. Right? You got to always have those goals in mind.
It's true.
So, like, for you, like, what do you do for your athletes when you go into that? Because you're talking about mindset. So what do you do to address that for your athletes in your program?
So I like to talk with them, like especially when they are on that certain like situation, and I like to talk with them and try to get into their mindset, because sometimes you're so down, then your mindset is going to the negative space. Then you even try to try to someone is trying to put you up, but you're still bringing
it down. Yeah.
So it's like I like to talk with my athletes and tell them that it's possible.
Yeah.
If you want, you can do it.
Yes. So when it comes in, because you have every couple pro fighters that year.
I have one
Tyler. Yeah. So with your fighters and stuff like that, when it comes in for like pro, how did that come up? Like where you're like, hey, it's time.
Yeah, so I give a big challenge to my fighters, like especially Tyler before I thought was like, oh, now it's time to go pro. So I gave him like a huge like challenges, and that he just going through. Tyler is very mental strong, very strong kid, and I tell stuff, and then he I like it because he's very like me when I was like, he don't say he's no, why,
okay,
who, he's just okay, coach, done. So I put him in certain weight that is very, very hard to get there, like 140, and he don't say anything. He's like, yes.
Turned into a twig, and he did it.
So but that's what fight's supposed to be.
Yeah. Mindset strong. I'd say, okay, I'm gonna fight. I'm here for one thing.
Yeah. And he's improving very, very well. Like each fight he's doing very
awesome. Is he gonna be on the next Samurai Soul?
Not this one, but he's fighting. Yeah, so he's fighting the major league in July.
Major League, but Major League for the circuit you guys are doing, yeah?
Yes.
With WBC Muay Thai for pro.
Yes.
Yeah, Major League Muay Thai is what you guys are calling it, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So, he'll be that one in July. How can people find Samurai Soul?
Samurai Soul, SamuraiSoul.com.
Samurai Soul.
SamuraiSoulFC.com.
SamuraiSoulFC.com. Again, we'll put that down in the show notes.
Same things for the social media, Instagram.
Samurai Soul FC.
Yeah.
Also, I'll make sure to get that all linked up. So he'll be fighting the one in California, right?
Yes.
So do you know, like, for California, you talk about rules. Did you know that in California the word Muay Thai is not even in the rules for the state?
Heard it.
Yeah. So I wonder if they're ever going to allow them to adopt like hey, we're doing this event, WBC Muay Thai rules, like we're talking about with here in Arizona. They have the ABC rules they took in and stuff like that for some issues that were going on. I don't know, but just something I want to mention for you and anybody who's listening out there. Each state is different, and you guys are really, by doing this circuit though, you're kind of trying to help show these commissions that, hey, there is money to be made here in Muay Thai, because it's all about money for them. It's about how they make money for the state. And the only way they really give two shits about it is if it's making money for them. Yeah. Right? So it's like, if it's making money, then they'll probably make some kind of concessions and change for you guys, right? So what do you think? Are you guys preparing any differently for that kind of thing? Or
yes, we trying to, adapt and make everything like running in only one direction. But it's like you say, like every state have a total different
commissioner regulations, right?
Regulation, which I think I wish it could be, boxing commission on top of that, and then just put a Muay Thai rule for the whole United States. One rule, make one rule book for the whole United
States. There is people that are trying to do that right now. I know that. Yeah. As long as the right people are behind it, though.
Yeah.
That's the big thing, is because a lot of the people who are involved in commissions are from boxing, right? There's some people from MMA, but they don't really know, or they know kickboxing, or they don't know Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And it's like really trying to figure out how to get that influence. But when you get a promoter, it's kind of hard to argue with the promoter because they're the one paying the bills.
Yeah.
Right. So I think you're in a very unique position in that, and I'm looking forward to see how that comes together, man.
Oh man, yeah.
So Pajada style, right? All the time, baby. Hey, Fabiano, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And then you have a good rest of your day, man.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in today to the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast. If you enjoy the content, go leave a review over on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Give us a rating. It means the world to us. Also, if you want to be a guest on the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast, or if you just want to shout out to your friend, go check us out at podcast.puumuaythai.com. You can submit to be able to be a guest on the podcast. You can submit what you want to talk about. Also, if you want to just give a shout out, there's a button for that too. Sawadee Kop.